Have you ever picked up a pottery piece and felt like it was somehow?
Not because it was brighter, more expensive, or perfectly shaped. In fact, it may have had a slightly uneven rim or tiny marks left by the potter's hands. Yet somehow it felt warmer, more personal, more alive. That's because handmade objects speak a language that words cannot. They communicate through touch. Every handmade piece of pottery carries evidence of the person who made it. The gentle curve of a bowl, the texture of a carved surface, the weight of a mug in your hand, even the subtle variations in the glaze. These aren't just design choices. They're expressions of someone's patience, attention, and care. In a way, every handmade object tells a quiet story. It says, someone spent time making me, not minutes on a factory line, but hours of preparation, drawing, trimming, glazing, and firing. Every stage required decisions, adjustments, and moments of concentration. That investment of time becomes part of the object itself, even if we can't see it. Perhaps that's why we often become emotionally attached to handmade pottery. Think about your favorite mug at home. Chances are it isn't perfect. It may have a small chip, a slightly uneven handle, or a glaze that isn't completely uniform. Yet you reach for it again and again. Why? Because our connection to objects isn't based only on perfection, it is based on how they make us feel. Handmade pottery carries something that machines struggle to reproduce: human presence. When you hold a handmade cup, you are touching the same cuff that another person's hands once shaped. The fingerprints may no longer be visible, but their decisions remain. Every line, every proportion, every subtle imperfection reflects a moment in the making process. That creates a quiet connection between the maker and the user. Two people who may never meet yet become linked through a simple object used in everyday life. There's something deeply comforting about that. In a world filled with projects made by machines, handmade ceramics reminds us that real people still create beautiful things slowly, carefully, and with intention. They remind us that not everything has to be identical to be valued. Sometimes it's the small irregularities that make an object feel most human. Perhaps that's the emotional language of handmade pottery. It doesn't speak through words, it speaks through warmth, through texture, through weight, through the quiet evidence that someone cared enough to make something with their own hands. And maybe that's why handmade objects stay with us for so long. Long after we have forgotten where we bought them and how much they cost, we still remember how they felt to hold, how they became part of our daily routines, and how they quietly turned ordinary moments into meaningful ones. Because in the end, a handmade pot is never just clay shaped by skilled hands. It's a human experience made visible, and every time we use it, that story continues.